Sunday Sharpe, do 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 do. Sunday Sharpe, do 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 do. Sunday Sharpe, do 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 do. Hello, 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 hello. How is everybody? But well, both of you. Evening, Aaron and Lurker. Hope all is going well for thou. I may have to rush off. We shall see. I may have, may have accidentally eaten 3 egg custards that might have been out of date. So, never know. If I have to run for the toilet, yeah, we'll know why. So, that warning out of the way. I'm assuming we're going to have a quieter stream than usual because of the there's some fish thing going on in America apparently. How many conventions do you need? Yeah, lots of bright lights, lots of people, lots of noise. Not for me. And thankfully we don't have them in the UK. Anyway, so yeah. As we still just got one person here, still eating his tea, chow mein noodles and chicken broth with chicken legs, pepper. You're doing okay until we mentioned the C word. Because, yeah, I don't do chicken. Really don't eat chicken. Yeah. I've killed and gutted far too many of them in my life to eat them. So, yeah, scary numbers. Farming on an industrial scale. So, as you might be able to tell by the title, even though there's only us two here, it's Donky, the electric blue car, sadly passed this week. Actually, yesterday. Electric blue car. So we're down to 2 who have now been called Bert and Ernie. Not entirely sure why Donky doesn't donk anymore. My guess is one too many blows to the head is probably what did it. Was again no obvious injuries, no signs of illness. Everyone else is fine and dandy in the tank. Not old for an Akara, only a couple of years old. So never mind. Words were said, a tear was shed, and is now buried in the garden. Fertilising my mint plant, actually. So if my mint starts tasting a bit fishy, we'll know why. So yes, that was rather sad. Oh, now we've got no viewers. If this don't pick up in a few minutes, I'm probably going to call it. Ah, there we go. We've got 2 now. Perhaps people are starting to wake up. There was a basket when you don't know how they died. Yeah, it is. Seems to happen a fair amount with me. There's no real obvious cause of death. Margaret, my lovely, how are you, my dear? Hope all is well with you. I hope you're still reaction free from the kitties, because that would be great if you could get a kitty that you can cuddle. And this week's t-shirt, fish tank. Yeah, so I was just saying that, well, won't talk texting at you. Finish your munch, get your grub down your gullet. I was saying, yeah, so Still, I've no reaction, just done with dinner. Oh, full belly. Got the boys doing the washing up. Sorted. But yeah, as I was saying, so poor little Donky is no more. Donky has donked his last donk. So it's just Bert and Ernie chasing each other around now. I'm going to hope that was a typo. First day back to school. Oh, yeah, that's going to be, well, fist bumps to Chris. And hugs to you, because you're probably going to be just as stressed as he is. But here, if you need me, yeah. My general theory, with the unfortunate passing of Donky, is just too many hits to the head. There is that. So with what's been happening in the last year or so, it's going to be hard for a lot of kids, I think, going back to school. When do ours go back? Second week in September, Aaron. So you've got another 3 weeks, 2-3 weeks. Yeah, it's been quite noisy around here as well lately, but it's kind of interesting because it's Polish kids shouting in English. That or cats fighting outside. That's happened a few times this week. So when it comes to fish room news, yeah, other than Donky, got none. Baby bristly noses are still doing well. I've got one of the female mollies in the breeder box because she's fit to burst. But if she hasn't dropped in a couple of days, I'll take her out again. No sense stressing her out and killing her, because she's actually a female with a lighter tail as well. So, howdy, Devil Reject. Thank you for the super chat. It is. Well, I've got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've got 13 running at the moment. So yeah, I've got 2 spares for if I need to put fry in or get new fishies. Although this time next week there will be another couple of spares because golden white clouds will go in with the Palliatus cories, and the black neon tetras in the far top tank will go in with the epistogrammas and bristlenoses. Lucky last mouthful triangle shaped bone. Ow. Imagine non-native people in Norway on their National Day. Yeah. It's like American people celebrating St. Patrick's Day. Why are you not Irish? Mind it, it'd also be the same if English people actually celebrated St. George's Day. Luckily enough, you chewed it for once. Yeah. I've done that before. It's usually a lump of tooth that I find rather than a bone. Another reason not to eat chicken. Bony bits. Processed meat doesn't have bone in it. Yeah, that's the only reason we celebrate anything. Alcohol. know, not to tar the entire country with the same brush, but we pretty much are a nation of alcoholics. The national flags only get hung out when England are doing well at football or rugby sometimes. So I say hip hip hooray, it sounds like a screaming. I got 10 and 6 in use, cool. Keeping anything interesting? I say most of the stuff I've got now I'm trying to breed for profit. Evening, Danny boy. Working on a Sunday. I hope they got you on double time, fella. That's not on. You should tell them you got important things to do on a Sunday night. Waffle about fish. Yeah, it's one of those interesting conundrums. As I say, I will have empty tanks. Do I put stuff in them? But then if I put stuff in them and something breeds, I'm going to need the tank to put that in, fry into, so you've got to leave them empty. Yeah, it's kind of all over the place. Howdy, Ricky. Took Thursday and Friday off since you had to work weekend. Oh, no. Well, I mean, you had your weekend, you just had it two days early. So that's what I found working in shops is it's okay if your days off are consecutive, because then you can just have your weekend at a different time. But the last place, I got one day off, then work a couple of days, then a day off, and work a couple of days. So I never really got weekends. Well, I worked every bloody Saturday anyway, so. Yeah, lurk away, Ricky. Lurk away. So I think we're probably going to be fairly shy on people today because, well, there's that weird fishy thing going on in Chicago. So I've seen a couple of the videos and I'm glad I'm not there. Again, nothing against the thing and the people that go there. There are plenty of people that go there I'd love to actually meet in person because I know most of them. But an entire day, let alone a whole weekend, just to wander around a show, what does it take you? About an hour and a half, 2 hours to walk around at most? So Thursday, fish tank shopping, Friday, chilling with the human fry. Oscar's, Jaguar, and Axolotl. Cool. You're a big fishy person. I'm a little fishy person. I like little friendly fish. So no Oscars, no Jaguars. Actually, the biggest fish I own now are the electric blue acaras, which one is hiding up down there and the other one's probably hiding up over there. Who knows? Oh, good pickup, Aaron. Good pickup. It might. Well, given that I know Daniel does foster, there's a chance. Yeah. So I'm breeding bristle noses, shell dwellers, cherry shrimp, hopefully epistogrammas, corridoras, the general stuff that sells a lot of. You know, why I look at it, there's no point breeding Jaguar cichlids if you can only sell 3 or 4 of them and they produce 100. But, yeah, I'll say with fish, each their own. If you like big fish, have at it, go for it. Just not for me. I like a community tank. Mixed species plants. Well, generally, that's just that's the fry rack. The only things that have kind of got in there semi-permanently are the shell dwellers that are in there, and they will be going soon. Being sold again. Yeah, as I say, I just haven't got the tanks to put things like Jaguars and Oscars in. Not when my biggest is a 50 gallons. So most of them are well under half that size, if not a fifth. It's I keep little fishies. Like, small English house can't have big tanks. And if I did have a big tank, I'd put lots and lots of little fishes in it and breed lots and lots of fish. Yeah, that's my thinking too, Aaron. I'd rather have lots and lots going on in a tank than one fish or two. Pam, Bunchy Paints, up early. Yeah, 450 litre better tank, exactly. So what's that? 450 is going to be, that's 100 gallon, isn't it? Basically. So, yeah. I'd have to think a lot about Punchy Pants. She's been called worse. 119. So, well, American gallons, which are, not actually correct gallons. It's like saying that's 6 inches. That's an American gallon. The thing is, Aaron, we are older. We were taught it. I was in the last year at school that got taught English Imperial, American Imperial, and metric. So I go between the three. I know what I mean, but nobody else does. I'll go 30 inches by 25 centimeters as a measurement. Makes this the nearest full number, but confuses the hell out of other people. Yeah, so there's is now only 3 countries on the planet that actually use the imperial system, and 2 of them are in the process of changing. Tried teaching centiliters. Teacher said no, saying the mil. Yeah. 1 milliliter is 100 mil is 1 centiliter. Yeah, is it something like that? Never interested in maths and measurements when you go into fish tanks. Yeah. Yeah, I just enjoy knowing how big things are. No, yeah, it's a very weird thing. The clinging on desperately to the outdated system that is so much harder to work with. I mean, working out the gallon, the size of or the capacity of a tank in imperial, in metric, it's length times width times height. Yeah, length by width by height gives you the answer. You don't have to multiply it by 236 or something stupid like that to get the answer. Vaping, cooking, and airbrushing. Measuring my feet. Yeah, I don't do that, Dan. I've got small feet. I don't bother measuring them. Didn't know algebra rate. So third year, second year to fourth year. Yeah. So the subs. How I passed French is a miracle, because we gave our French teacher a nervous breakdown halfway through the GCSE course. Yes. No, when I went to college, I did electronics and engineering mathematics. So, yeah, algebra, it's just maths with numbers. That's all it is. You put a letter, or maths with letters. You put a letter there because you don't know what the number is. And if you can figure out the numbers, then you put the numbers in, and suddenly it gets a lot easier. Recognise trait in language teachers. Yes. Especially trying to teach a bunch of kids who didn't want to be there in the first place, because we had to take a language, which was either French or German, but you could only take German if you were in the top set in third year or year 9. So basically everyone that wasn't in the top of the top set for French didn't want to be there. I said some of it, it's some reason, most of it just stuck anyway. Middle ground was Spanish. Yeah, we didn't even get Spanish as an option. I think, was it third year we did 6 months of Latin, and then the only teacher in the school who knew that retired, so it was a case of, oh right, so now we can't do that at GCSE either. Right, thank you. The one language that we do that I would have been interested in, we're not doing anymore. That was kind of the way it worked. It was, you had the subjects you had to take, and the options, no matter how you worked it, you ended up doing a whole bunch of stuff you really didn't want to do. And if you took one thing, it meant you couldn't take other things that you might actually want to do. 2 Akara, 7 Cories, and 3 Swordtails. That doesn't equal a Roma 125. That's a Roma 90 at best. And that's only because they're happy Karas. So it's the guy with 2 Akaras, 2 bristle noses, 5 mollies, 6 Clyde Danios, 2 clown loaches. Did I mention the bristle noses? In a Roma 200. Graphic design, only 5 of each chose it, so I got thrown in art and tree shells. Oh dear. Yeah, room for future impulse spazzes. Yeah, you got to have space for your future spaz, because, well, I mean, you wouldn't have to worry about the Swordtails or the Cories for very long. Because as soon as the future spaz got big enough to fit him in his mouth, they'd disappear rapidly. You wouldn't find any bits either, trust me. But yeah, providing everyone's got a tank big enough to keep one till it's at least relatively full grown, I recommend everyone keeps a bicher. They're awesome fish. They're not aggressive, they just eat everything that fits in their mouth. The only time Spaz showed any aggression was when the dual cichlid tried nipping his tail. And Jill Cichlid found out who got the bigger mouth very quickly. He got grabbed around the stomach and shaken about. Didn't like that much. Hence, no more Jill Cichlids. Although also attacking the happy Karas, and we can't be having that. A sad-looking Akara is not what you want to see. I sit there looking at you like, Dad, what's going on? Why are these fishes attacking us and hurting us? We've done nothing to them. Bless. The only other thing I thought about is maybe actually see if I can find a definite female Akara. I can't find a definite female Akara. So I've got a funny feeling all three were boys. Then we shall see. What are you guys all doing, zooming about down there, eh? You do realise you're not supposed to eat each other's babies. You've still not gone to the LFS. Oh no. After you're all brave and got on the tube and went to the cattery and got on the tube back. Oh dear. You had to do something about that, Marek. But at least now with kids back in school, you can get yourself down to the LFS during the day. Pardon me. You're not a wreck. We all have our issues. You just need someone to hold your hand a bit, is all. Yeah, your LFS needs you. Oh, that'd be a great poster, Dan. Who was it? So it was either the Uncle Sam one, wasn't it? Or there was the. Was it Lord Kitchener, the British one? I think it was Lord Kitchener. Now, your country needs you. Who would we choose as the UK representative of the fish hobby? Just pointing at your local fish shop needs you. Well, in the UK at the moment, it'd be your local HGV firm needs you. Captain Birdseye. Yeah, but Captain Birdseye ain't Captain Birdseye anymore. He's sort of a younger dude with a neatly coiffed beard. Captain Birdseye's got to look like Uncle Albert from Only Fools and Horses. So Captain Birdseye, he's got to be some old salty sea dog. Yeah, if Buster Merrifield was still alive, he'd be perfect. And I suppose if it was someone actually in the fish industry in the UK, possibly Nathan Hill. They'd get some weird person. Yeah, exactly. Well, Marek, I'm here on the phone if you need me. If you need someone to message you constantly about random silliness while you're on the bus or the tube or whatever, I'm here. You know that. These things have to be done. Friends look out for each other. especially friends who've had the same problems. Big snuggle hug. And before you say anything, because I know you will, oh geez, if I can stand up, I'm getting too old for this. Oh, I forgot I've got my new slippers on as well. There we go. So we can all be judged. That right there is a picture of your local cattery needs you. All good to be made fun of. Well, so this is it. There's making fun of, making light of, and then there's taking the. You need to know someone well enough to be able to take the mickey out of their foibles without it being just offensive. Yeah, that is a judging look that says your local cat shelter needs you. That's the poster for that. I mean, so my advice for the bus is try to go when it's going to be quiet. So once all the kids have got to school, everyone's got to work, the buses are quiet. Yeah, there'll be half a dozen people maybe on there, well, locally to me anyway. And then you time it so you come back before all the school kids and everything come home as well. Yeah. Well, you'll get there. You'll get your snuggle putty, and then I'm sure you'll be sending me lots of pussy pictures. Yeah, a couple of days after delivery day too. Yeah, that's a good one. Very good idea. Because when I went to Maidenhead Aquatics last week, I went on the Wednesday. I normally would go on Friday or Thursday. So yeah, I just had a really big delivery in. Everything was not for sale. Otherwise, I would probably have got cardinal tetras or ember tetras rather than black neons. But hey, tetras are tetras. I'm sure an epistogramma can look after itself against some black neons. And I'm pretty sure if they try nipping Ginger's fins, she'll have a go at them too. She's surprisingly zoomy for a long fin pleco. Just look over. You see his big blur of orange fins going everywhere. She's still not. Well, she's been in the cave, but Fred's still trying to figure out what he's meant to do. He's been practicing fanning today, though, so that's a good sign. Bless him. He just sat there fanning with his fins. It's like, dude, you got no eggs there. Bless. Mind you, if Ginger dropped a batch of eggs, they'd probably be bigger than he is, so might just be waiting for him to get a bit bigger. And then we will have baby super reds day at the gym. Nah, not for me. I mean, I'll willingly watch video of other people at the gym. Preferably while I sat down. How about Jim? He's fanning. Yeah. I say this is it. He might just be practicing and strengthening up the muscles or whatever. Well, people might know, I don't. I'm no expert in fish behaviour. Although saying that, me and Mary did take a wander down a localish river today. Had to go with a fish trap, see if we could catch anything to have a look at, but nothing went in. We only left it like 10 minutes, so it's not a surprise. But there were some rather pretty fishies down there. There were. I'm just going from what I could see from looking through the water. There were definitely minnows and roach, possibly some chub or dace. They could have been big dace, they could have been baby chub. That, and I think there might have been some brook trout as well, because a couple of them came to the surface to grab bread, and they didn't look the right colour to be any of the normal species I would expect to see. Sort of multicoloured brownie and sitting facing upstream in the current. So I think possibly some little trouties, but we shall see. We can go back and try again with the trap another day, leave it a bit longer and see what happens. Yeah. As I say, he keeps trying to get her in the cave. She'll go in the cave and then like he'll let her out before she's laid her eggs. Or he'll sit in the cave, she'll be sat in front of it and he won't let her in. So he's got a bit of learning to do yet, bless him. Might have to put him in a specimen container attached to the outside of this tank about here, so we can see when Bertie and Spotty get it on, and he'll see what he needs to do. That might be this week again. Yeah, because it'll be 4 weeks this week since that batch were laid. So they're due to go into a tank. Yeah, I've got a spare one. So listening while unsubscribed from assets on Steam at the game crash and it lost almost 2,000. Ooh, ouch. Oh. Yeah, so I'm of the console master race, Xbox player. So, you know, these PC scrubs, I have no idea what they're on about. Howdy, Robert. How you doing? Not in Aqua Smeller? That's probably that's a fair old way from Tennessee, so don't blame you. Subscribe to new ones, forget the old ones until the game comes to a complete halt. Yeah. And I suppose it's like me with YouTube, is every so often I just go through and unsubscribe to a bunch of channels that, not actually ones I don't watch, it's ones that have just stopped producing content. It's or ones where you're going through the list, what you look and I don't recognize that person or those videos. Why am I subscribed? Unsub. Yeah, I think I looked at the list the other day. It was something like 340 channels that I was subscribed to. So yeah, kind of needs to come down a bit. And obviously there are certain people I don't unsubscribe to if they haven't put a video in months or years, Marek. I really shouldn't laugh, but that is kind of amusing. But yeah, I know what you mean, Aaron. I'm still friends with people on Facebook that are dead. Yeah, it's one of those where if you unfriend them, it's not like they're clogging your feed up with spam or anything, is it? Or, yeah. I need to be home alone to make vids. Well, you got your chance with the kiddies back at school. Oh, I know my ash just rolled down my arm. Straight into my can of drink. And yeah, we're on relentless this week because, you know, out of work. Hubby's still home. No, you have to send him out to do something, Marek. Send him out to do some shopping or something. Just go. I need to do a video. Because if he's anything like me, he would probably appear in a reflection in the tank doing something silly, not pulling silly faces or twerking. That's probably what I would do. Or make loud farty sounds. But I do that in videos anyway, and nobody seems to notice. Sometimes I blame it on my knees. I think once in the past I blamed it on Zach, but that was actually Zach farting. Bless him. He was around earlier. Oh, the other problem with walking down by the river, right next to the fields. Yeah. And the farmer was out cutting hay. We know what that means when we got hay fever. He's still home, still working from home. Oh. So I take it you're really looking forward to hubby going back to work. Just don't do what I did, right? Film an entire video, then go back to watch it and realise that the reflection in the tank caught more of you than it should have done. So you then have to reshoot the entire video once you put some more clothes on. Yeah, also with the YouTube subscriptions, see you later, Dan. Don't work too hard, buddy. Yeah, it just shows you the future. It either shows the ones you watch the most or the ones that, how can I put it, are the bigger channels. The ones that YouTube makes more money from, is my theory. I know you've done that more than once, Marek. I mean, I'd like to see it, but, you know. You can put those up on your OnlyFans. Yeah, anyway, fish bumps for the Friday night, Dan, when they go to bed. If you're home in time. So We're actually watching your most recent video today, myself and Mary, and she agrees you've got a lovely voice as well. So there you go. I think that the exact term was sultry, which, yeah, I agree with entirely. Yeah. So anyway, the idea about copying 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 Graham's idea of the native fish video didn't work well. Yeah, you got a lovely voice. Everyone understands you're not speaking your native tongue. You're speaking a foreign language. I mean, Jesus. I mean, even if I tried doing a video in French, it'd be bad enough. If I tried doing it in Norwegian, my God, that'd be bad. You'd have to write a script and then actually do a video for me of you reading the script so I knew how the hell to pronounce the words. I'd still get it wrong because I'm old and crap. And I'm having a fluffy hair day again. And that shows just how thin it is when you can see the tank through my hair. Oh well, never mind. It means I'm less likely to block the plug hole. Will you behave yourselves, Shelley Dwellies? Are you acting up because you're hungry? Because you can't be, because you've already been fed twice today. Everyone been fed twice today. She got my finger out and did it. The only one that hasn't been fed twice today is me. So I'm thinking, I had a bit of wind earlier, and I'm thinking eating 3 out-of-date egg custards might not have been a good idea. So if I start levitating, it might clear the hay fever out. Just sent a message to the friend. Have you got anything new? Well, you see, if you've got some new stuff in there, it's even more reason to go. Even if it's not just to go to the LFS, you go and you can have a catch up and you chat with your friend. See, all the more reasons. You can buy some pretty fishies, and you can do a video on your pretty fishies. See, there you go, sorted. We get this worked out one way or the other. So, I'm passing out. Oh dear. Well, you know, I'll put my teeth in first, is what I'll do. Give you the kiss of life. And, you know, I'll be holding your hand in spirit. I can send a certain floofer to come and stay with you while you're doing it. He'll look after you. And he went and visited Mary when she was in hospital. He's a good boy. And he stayed with her till she got home. And that was her home, not my home. He's a very good boy. Even if he does like to pull the air lines off of the air pump for the rack. He'll sit there and go, something's wrong. It's too quiet. Wander over. He pulled the airline off again. And I know it's him because there's teeth marks in the airline. Just his way of letting me know he's here. Oh, excuse me. I didn't sleep very well last night. And the hay fever meant no nap this afternoon either. Couldn't breathe through the nose. Yeah. I mean, I'd rather he like meowed or gave me a head rub or something like that, but no, he seems to like to play with airline. Perhaps I'll have to see if I can find his old lace and put that out for him to play with instead. He might leave the airline alone. Probably a good idea when I think about it. Because he's a cheeky little boy when he wants to be. So, Shadow's not been about too much lately either. Still around, just not obvious around. Not like tap dancing upstairs like they were the other week. That's what it sounded like anyway. Shadow's still here. This is Shadow's home now, so seems perfectly happy. Doesn't bother me. Doesn't scare me or anything. Wakes me up occasionally, but it's sort of like, oh, that's what it is. You literally wake up, realise what it is that's woken you up, and fall back to sleep again. That's not a problem. Not like these people that hear a footstep up, hear a footstep and freak out totally. Right, no, it's just a ghost. It's not coming after you. It's not trying to kill you. They're all getting all scared and freaked out. Have you tried saying hello to it? No, perhaps he just wants a bit of attention. He's probably been in the house longer than you have. Donny G. Lucas is streaming from Aqua Smeller. I figured there might be someone streaming, given how low the numbers have been today. But hey, I'll let you off if it's Lucas, because Lucas is cool. Speaking of people, I broke the mold when they made them. Although I hate to think what his water bill's like, or his electric bill for heating all them. Oh, pardon me. Exactly, Don. You can see my mug every Sunday. Aquashella streams only happen 3 times a year. Yeah, just hope nobody gets sick from being there. Yeah, there is always that, Marek. I mean, con crud is a thing anyway. It's to have the name con crud. It's basically lots of people in a small area. One person turns up with a cold or a bug, everyone gets it. Let's just fingers crossed and pray to whatever deity you worship. Let's cross all the fingers. That pray to Almighty Cthulhu that nobody gets Crud Corona. That would suck big time. So I wouldn't. Someone like that isn't for me at the best of times, but at the moment, and given the way the numbers are going in the US at the moment, yeah, I wouldn't be opening things like that back up yet. Not without strict hand sanitizing and mask protocols in place. Tank behind me is where I confused Don and say it's a 200. 200 litre, 50 gallon. Ish. More like 55, but you know. Actually, probably, yeah, it is probably a 55. Yes. Normal depth, I'd say. Yeah, our tanks tend to be shorter and taller. There's smaller houses, so you can't actually get the big long tanks in. So this is meant to be my dining room. And where the end of that tank is well, that is the one end of the dining room. And basically a couple of inches past the end of that rack is the other end of the dining room. Now I stretch my foot out, my feet are about a foot short of the kitchen, and I'm sat right in front of this tank. Yeah, it's 55, it's 3 foot, 4 foot, can't remember. I'll grab a measuring stick because I think I've got one available. Ugh. Let's see. So we want this in the old out of date measurements, don't we? So 39 inches, or yeah, 3'3" by 21 by 17. Yeah, so it's slightly longer, slightly shorter, probably considerably wider. This is 200 litre, which is nearest makes no difference, 55 US. And yes, I do have a high-vis tape measure. Means you can find it when you drop it somewhere. No worries. I'm just waiting for Marriott to ask me to measure something else. Fine, with just a Japanese one, still got that. Need to escape Japantown area, see. Ah. Yeah, I know what you're like. Oh, I don't need a tape measure to measure that. Yeah, that's more accurate. I ain't going to show you that measurement now. Yeah, so what was it? Yeah, so hopefully future actually catch some native fishies from a river or whatever. City skyline again. Memory leak due to bad coding. Yeah, I'll stick with a little bit of World of Warships. That's literally all I play these days. Occasionally. And you have to mess with the settings on that as well, just so you don't have to play against the people on the base station. Because for some reason, anytime there's a troll in that game, you know, the kind of person who pushes you out of your smoke screen or shoots at you, fires torpedoes at you, they're always playing on a PlayStation. Well, I think the last game I actually bought was probably Forza Horizon 2, however many years ago that was. Seems like you don't know how to keep crew happy and sane. Good luck with that, because most of the real captains didn't do that. They might have kept them sane, but they certainly weren't happy. I'd imagine that recycled air with German diet, all that sauerkraut and sausage. Can you imagine what it smelt like? Diesel fumes and cabbage farts? No, thank you. Along with sweaty, dirty sailors. Yeah. I'll do in service and just get some fresh air. What was the last submarine game I ever saw was Cold Waters. That was many years ago now, and I never played it. Exactly. You don't want to smell diesel fumes, cabbage farts, hot oil, and sweaty semen. Yeah, it sounds a bit wrong, but it's the correct term. Oh, that's just such a nasty combination of words, that isn't it? Ooh. Last thing anyone wants. You know it's hot when that happens. When you start sweating on the inside of your nuts. Ooh, grim. Oh. Oh. I think I just managed to disgust myself. So apologies for that. I think I'll have to go sniff a cat fart. Switch the app and got an ad. You will get ads. Yep. I am a fully monetized channel, Aaron. So you'll get ads at the start and at the end. And in videos that are long enough, you probably get them in the middle as well. For all the thousands that it makes me. Well, like, oh dear. Don't wet yourself again, Marek. Get to the toilet first. You know, would have turned ad block off. I mean, thanks, but it really doesn't make much difference. Is I think each ad, or I mean, it depends on the ad. It's something like 0.08p, no, 0.08 pence, not 5 pence. If it was 5p, I wouldn't be worried about getting a job again. I'm getting 5,000 or 6,000 views a month, and yeah, 1,000 times 5p is 5,000p, which is 50 quid. Yeah, I'd be getting like between 250 £300 a month from YouTube alone without super chats. If it was that, don't dare move right now. Oh dear. Are we going for a second time we made you weigh yourself, Merritt? Do I have to keep talking about sweaty semen? Bob! How are you, Sir Robert? It's, you turned up at just the wrong moment there, didn't you? How are you, my friend? Hope all is well with you. And 50 quid, they put the limit up and demonetized the channel. Yeah. That was kind of the problem I had with things just... So you reach what they want and they change the goalposts on you. I did get there eventually. Ah, Mike, didn't see you come in. Welcome aboard. Apologies if you said hello in the chat earlier and I completely, pardon me, missed you. You forgot your own top chat, didn't you? Oh, God. Yeah. Thanks for that. It used to automatically come up as live chat. Now here we get about 3,000 more comments come through. Yeah, so yeah, because they changed the way you set up live streams now, so I was getting a bit confused before we started. Yeah, other way around. Yeah, well, gas coming out of the bottom. Yeah, I'll have that later. Don't worry about it. I had it earlier. I'll have it later. Yeah, so good to see that Red's doing well, Bob, and no doubt getting a few of the platty fry, which will help him get better. But as you say, if he's only going to get a few of them. Live has to. I think anyone who's ever streamed live for more than about half an hour has been caught out at some point. So you went to the loo for a good fart then. Fair enough. Doesn't show any interest. Could be he's got the same temperament as my Norman had, because Norman was the same fin type, and he never showed any interest in platty fry or shrimp at all. If anything, he used to sit there and watch the shrimp, and then he'd play with them sometimes. He never actually tried to eat them. He'd wait for them all to be gathered around having a munch on the algae wafer, and then he'd like dive bomb them, like playing boo. So they'll scatter, and he wouldn't like chase them. He'd just sit there away from them and go back and then dive bomb them again. It was fun to watch. So I think it might be down to the fin type, is that they know they can't catch anything, so they don't bother going for it. Whereas Engelbert, being just a little half moon, he could get a shift on when he wanted to. And yeah, I wouldn't have trusted Engelbert with fry or with shrimp. Oh, because I tried him with. I say I tried him with shrimp. There were a couple of shrimp I had missed that were still in the tank when he went in there, and they soon disappeared. And speaking of fry, the one surviving Molly fry is doing well. It's in there somewhere. The one that got dropped about a couple of hours after I bought them. But yeah, it's trundling about in there with a bunch of bristle noses, so that'll be perfectly safe and happy, plenty to feed on. It's a bristle nose tank. It's got a lot of mold and a lot of Infusoria in it, or Alfux is the current name people keep using. But it just means microflora and microfauna. Yeah, now I've heard those stories before, Aaron. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so I've heard them before, but they were funny, but neither of them surprised me. I mean, it's like what you do, isn't it? You got a tradesperson of any type, whatever it is, working on your house or in your house or doing whatever. You at least offer a cuppa. Right? Do you want a cup of tea, cup of coffee? Then if they say no, fair enough. If they say, "Oh, go on, I can murder a cup of tea," you make a cup of tea. You make the offer. It's just what you do. It's like in America, if you go for a meal, you give a tip. It's just expected that you give a tip. If you don't give a tip, you get in trouble. Even if the service was really bad and the food was foul, it's still meant to give a tip. Which, huh? No, you give a tip if the service and the stuff is exceptional. It's like getting a bonus at work for doing your job normally. Mind you, back when I used to work in the brush factory, we used to get a bonus. Now I figured out exactly how much work I had to do to get the maximum bonus. And I'd probably get that done by like Thursday. So, yeah, Friday was a DOS day. Yeah, I'll say, but then, I mean, I kind of understand it. Because the difference over here is that. Howdy, Carly. How you doing? Yeah, I'll say it's because over here, no matter what you do, you get paid the minimum wage, which is the same for whichever job you do, which is a livable wage. Whereas in the States, quite often, the people who are doing those jobs are on pathetically low wages. And which is what they're having problems with at the moment, I believe, isn't it? People aren't going back to work because they realise that, hang on, no, no, we're not working for that money anymore. Yeah, I'm all right, Carl. Same stuff, different year, decade, millennium. Food and the service sucks. You don't leave a tip. Exactly, you don't. The tip is there for if the people have done really well. Your waitress or hostess or whatever has been really polite, really helpful, friendly, lovely, great. Then they get a tip. If the food's really nice, then the chef gets a tip. But I mean, if I went somewhere to eat and I looked at the bill and it said, service charge or tip, it would get crossed out. And the new amount we put, and that would be what I'd pay. To expect it is wrong. Yeah, you got to have a full belly afterwards. There's nothing worse than going out for a meal and having to stop at the chippy on the way home because you're still bloody hungry. No, you can't tip anymore in Norway. Tax thing? Yeah, I say you shouldn't have to. I mean, I say if the people are getting paid enough to do the job, then literally either saying, thank you very much, writing a little note on the bill saying thank you for excellent service. Yeah, yeah, I was going to say they taxed it. Yeah, well, I mean, technically it's taxable income, isn't it? So, over here, if you earn a bonus at work, you get taxed on your bonus. So it's kind of the same thing, really. I understand it. It's going to be annoying for the service staff, but and that's the old banking collapse. When was that? Was that 2008? Was that long ago? It was a fair while ago, anyway. But yeah, the banking collapse, and all the bankers were getting fired and laid off, and they still expected their bonuses. So hang on, you have put your bank out of business, but you still expect your bonus? No. Yeah. The trouble is that they rely on the tip because the money's so bad. But I think Bob and any other Americans in the chat, Mike, will be able to, and Don will be able to put me right on this. Didn't McDonald's just recently up their basic rates of pay so they could actually get some staff? Yeah, $300 bonus at Christmas and they tax it. Yeah. No. Well, I've left plenty of tips. I'm not necessarily money. Tips like increase the portion sizes. Learn how to cook steak. Yeah, more money for fish, exactly. Yeah. I just don't get steak now when I'm out because nowhere can cook a bloody steak properly. Wherever you go. Yeah, steak, yeah, silver, please. Okay. Comes back, the bloody thing's overcooked. Got all this charcoaly muck on the outside. Excuse me, steak's overdone. Oh, sorry, we'll get you another one. Out it comes, overdone again. It's still overdone. It's got those weird, nasty charcoal marks on it. Shouldn't be on the grill long enough to get charcoal marks. Yeah, that's a good point, Mike. If the food's bad but the service is good, tip and just don't go back. Yeah. I have been known to put on the bill, tip is for the chef or tip is for the waiter. Yeah, tips for the chef because the food's really good, not for the waiter because the service sucked. You know, that kind of thing. But hey, yeah, if you don't provide feedback, how are they going to get better? I mean, I could probably have gone out the back to a lot of them restaurant kitchens and shown them how to cook a steak silver or blue, whichever you want to call it. No, they've probably still got it wrong. Because oh no, but it's got to have the crisscross charcoal marks on it because it looks nice. That means it's overcooked though. It's changed colour. It's overcooked. The steak should basically just still be warm from where it's been cut off the cow. That's my view on it anyway. And then I said, oh, so we can't serve it like that because it's not been heated up enough. And then you look on the menu and it's got steak tartare on there, which is raw steak. You're like, oh. Yeah. We found something I'd like to rant about. This is why I prefer going to the chip shop. You know what you're going to get. The only difference is, depending on the shop, whether the chips are a bit better or not quite as good, or whether you get a bigger portion. But if you find one where you like the chips more than the other local ones, and you keep going back there, you get bigger portion sizes anyway. Ooh. Or is that just me? Am I just tight? That's probably it. If you want my scavenging filters when I've got no bloody backy here or papers. Right. Oh. Oh. Ow. Right. Yeah, exactly. Now, people like to knock British cuisine. People like to knock British cuisine, but can't beat a chippy. I don't care who you are, where you're from. You cannot beat a good portion of hot chips. Now, whether you go with fish or sausages or whatever with it, it fills you up. Well, hell, these days, even small chips and one jumbo sausage will fill me up. Well, not too long ago, it would have been a large chips and 2 jumbo sausages, and then figuring out what to have for afters. But, although that might be down to me being, regular chip shop. It's a fast food store, Don. Where instead of going in for a burger and fries, we go in for proper chips, which are like fries but about 4 times chunkier. And then either a piece of battered fish or a battered sausage. Yeah, the Chinese chip curry. Oh yeah, can't go wrong with one of them. We've got a Chinese chippy in the town, but I'm not a fan. The one I go to is actually Turkish. Their curry sauce has got a bit of a bite to it. Not being racist, but I still ain't eating the doner meat. See you later, Ricky. Have a good one. Yeah, can't go wrong with chips. Well, you don't attain this figure, Carl, by skimping on the amount of fuel you put in. You don't get this shape on salads. Let's put it that way. Now, I've got the body of a god, Buddha. Chips are in between fries and potato wedges. If you think, yeah, probably about half-inch cross-section, something like that. Crispy on the outside, sometimes if they've been overdone. Soft and fluffy on the inside. I prefer my chips kind of floppy and greasy, but I'm weird. Oh, yeah, well, those things happen. Fish and chips in the US is battered fish and fries. Yeah, well, I say fries, chips, similar thing. That chips are just chunkier. Well, if we go to McDonald's, they still have fries with it. But you go to a proper chippy, you get good chunky chips. And what you want is to find one if you can find one that still cooks them in dripping or lard, even better. Although it's very rare these days. Most of it's vegetable oil or sunflower oil, which isn't that great. Don't eat Arab and Asian. Muscle out all the Italians. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I'll say we have potato wedges as well, which are kind of like smaller versions of roast potatoes. What neck of the woods? I'm in Norfolk, Carl. Originally from Hertfordshire, via many different places, which is why the weird accent. I picked up the lazy parts of every little bit of the accent. So anywhere I lived, I picked up the lazy bit. So whichever letters get dropped from certain areas of the country, I drop I drop them all out the way I talk. But it's weird because if I visit Wales, then my Welsh comes through more strongly. If I visit Hertfordshire or Essex area, that kind of area, then that part of my accent comes through strongly. And here I am in good old Norfolk, and the old Norfolk starts coming through. You're in the Beirut of East Anglia, Carl. Cool. Yeah. You live in a quiet part of the country when Thetford is considered dangerous. So I'm fairly regularly down in Thetford these days. East Wretham. Now, if I hadn't have said that and we'd have tried to get the Americans to try and pronounce that, actually some of the English would have got that wrong as well. Yeah, Wretham. Yeah, the way I pronounce it is REM, basically. Wretham. Not Wretham or Wretham. Oh, you mean when they get rid of the good flavour and they replace it with that nasty, clean, horrible stuff? Yeah, I prefer the old oil. It's got more flavour in it. Especially when you get to the end of the night and it's not that they change it every day, but get the end of the night and you get the scraps out of it. Oh, yeah. All the little bits of chip and batter that have been floating around in the oil for hours. Oh, yeah, that's nice. It's basically crunchy cholesterol. So you can tell I'm not pure Norfolk, can't you, Carl? But quite a lot of my friends think I am. You've not heard broad Norfolk, trust me. There are some people I can't understand that are from Norfolk. You get a proper Norfolk farming boyo from Nowheresville up in the fens somewhere, and oh boy, it just, ooh. Yeah, it's farmer. Hey, I know plenty of farmers. Kind of happens when you live in Norfolk. Most people are. Well, not so much these days, but I used to live in a little village, Deetham. You probably heard of it. And yeah, basically everyone who lived there was a farmer. Oh no, there was a pig farmer whose yearly holiday was 2 days at the Norfolk show. He worked in Deetham. Damn. Whereabouts? Because I'm near the pub. Oh, geez. Not the chicken farm. Please don't tell me the chicken farm. Because if it was the chicken farm, that's where I used to live. Nothing worse than chicken tasting like fish. I don't know. Years ago. Yeah, it was years ago I lived there. Back when the pub was open, Nick's Diner was open, and the village shop was still there. Nick's Diner, the one restaurant I've never paid for food at. 86. Oh, when was I there? Let me see. When I started high school, so 11. Yeah, it would have been 87. From 87 till 94. Something like that. Yeah. Yeah. The amount of meals I had at Nick's Diner and never paid for a single one. Very small world indeed. So, as I say, the big white house, i.e. farmhouse up on the chicken farm, that is where I lived. With the Gibbons next to the Fellinghams. So that's just absurd. It takes a global communication medium and you meet someone who lived or worked like a couple of 100 yards away from where you used to live at about the same time. It's nuts. It really is. It's like, what? How does that happen? Yeah. Now, I know what's worse than chicken that tastes like fish, Bob. It's when you're eating pork and you find a nipple. Look from that. Ian Gibbons. Oh, damn. Yeah, Ian's my foster brother. I was fostered, he wasn't. But yeah. Say hi to Ian from me. Yeah, yeah. Stan Gibbons, my foster dad. And Bob the dog. I never see him. Yeah, I don't either. I think Stan's probably not with us anymore. Bob bit you. That sounds like Bob, really. But did you by any chance have food with you? Because if you had food, yeah, then he'll bite you. He was. I'll say that dog would disappear for hours on end. You'd whistle, you'd wait 10, 15 minutes, and he'd come scurrying under the gate. He'd been over in Morley somewhere, you know. I'll be like out on my bike with my friends or whatever and see him in a different village. What the hell are you doing here? Go home. I think he sowed a lot of wild oats. Let's put it that way. I think he's responsible for a lot of the border collie crosses in that area. I think you possibly. I would have been. I would literally would have been 11 at the time. So yeah, there you go. I'm saying my memory's crap for names. So there you are. How's that, people? Yeah, skinny little runt with black hair and bad clothes. Even worse than now. More of it. Well, I mean, it was shorter, but yeah, it was denser for sure. Um, yeah, we all had more hair back then. Well, except for Bob. Bob hasn't lost a single hair on his head, I don't think. Either that was a very, very effective comb over, and he's going to have to teach me. Oh, got a police helicopter over your heads right now. Uh-oh. I was going to make a really bad joke, but I won't because it's too soon. There's hopefully not a Plymouth situation going on. And how nuts is that? Shots? Yeah, it is a Plymouth situation. Yeah, yeah. I'm guessing every Brit knows about it. The Americans might not have. There was a shooting in Plymouth. As far as England's concerned, a mass shooting. So 6 people dead, including the shooter. But the first I heard about it was Marriott sent me a text asking me what the hell was going on in Plymouth. Well, I don't know. I'm about to go to bed. Yeah, no, Marriott's not going to shoot people. Marriott just beat them to death. Yeah, yeah. Aaron knew exactly where my joke was going, and I think I did quite well to reel that one back in. Yeah, and you're inside. At least stay there and stay safe, Marriott. Stay away from the windows. Just to be safe. Yeah. Unless it was like the gunman and the police are in a standoff, and then you can go out the window and flash the gunman. That might that would put him off enough to let the police get the upper hand. Boing. Later, Carl. Like the police look too. I'll be happy policeman. Plenty for everyone to look at. Yeah, so this is one of those streams where I've really not had anything to talk about. You don't scare. Wouldn't scare me. And I might pass out, but it wouldn't scare me. Don't scare people like that anymore. Oh dear. I'm not scared of you, Marrett. Oh, Bob's battling black ants. Well, if you don't want to use ant powder or gasoline and a match, boiling water is normally the best way. Fill the kettle up, boil it, and pour it down the ant nest. Cook the little sods. Oh no, poor Tibby. Of course Tibby's complaining. Tibby has every right to complain. Ants on food. That's just not good. Poor Tibby. Yeah, what's going on out there? Oh, I thought it was going to start raining. It's just getting dark. There's a bit of cloud and it's a bit dark, but you know, poor little Tibby. Sending extra fusses and extra food to Tibby. I'm sure you'll find out where they're coming from, Bob, and eliminate them. You could always try catching them all and feeding them to your fish. Maybe it's 7 dust. You could always like put down a bowl, literally with some food in it, on the windowsill to trap a bunch first, because I'm sure your fish would quite happily eat them. I know a certain red better that would enjoy a few of those ants. And any of the other cichlids probably would as well. My trug has been out in the garden in the rain for a few days, so, well, in the rain. It rained a few days ago. So there's plenty of mosquito larvae in there now, so I should be catching those and feeding them to the fish. Thankfully, the flies all seem to have buggered off, because that time of year around here where we get lots of flies, as surrounded by pig and chicken farms, with a chicken factory in town here. Yeah, we get lots of flies. But the good old-fashioned fly paper is up in the kitchen, and that's done its job. But what is it with flies? There's an entire house they can fly around, all sorts they can investigate and land on. But they always seem to want to land on your bare skin. Why do they do that? Oh no, I had to wash them down the drain. Yeah, well, Timmy's got to be having nice clean food. Doesn't want his food crawling around. Bless. So little scratches behind the ear for Tibby, and under the chin, and strokes, and then belly rubs when he rolls over. All cats like belly rubs, even if they won't admit it. Dad, my food is walking out the door again. Yeah, that's probably what the meow was. Human, my food is alive. I'm not entirely sure how Zach would have reacted. He'd have probably just sat there, looked at it, looked at me, meowed, and then just looked back at the bowl and just gave me the stink eye. Got to have a happy Tibby and a happy Ozzy. But to make Yazzie happy, all you need to do is have Pam talk to him. Yeah. So how long do you think it's going to be before you get a new allergy-free cat, Marrett? Is it going to be long, or have you got to wait for them to grow up, or are they available? Or is it a case of saving up the money? Oh, poor Tibby. Doesn't trust. That's not good. A kitty don't trust their food. Dharma had no qualms. Some fusses and reassurances, lots of laughs, and Tibby will be hungry later. I need to wait until your cat. Oh no. That's kind of a weird one, though, isn't it? Because it's like you'll be sad when your cat does pass, but then you'll be happy because it means you can get another cat. That's kind of a weird one. Because although she's a grumpy girl, and she doesn't like people or other animals, you still love her. She's almost 14. She's still a baby, he says. I mean, Zach was 14, but you know he's he probably went the same way. He went the same way Donky did, head wound. So yeah, she's still your girl. She might not show it and she might not admit it, but she's still your girl. If she needs anything, she comes to her mum. Mike's cat, no way any dog's going to get you. When the bobtails at the ark so badly. You're not too old for another cat, Bob. You've got way more than a cat's life left in you. Oh, lucky cat. We snuggled up with you and warm. As long as you don't do what Zach used to do and fart in your face, you're okay. But yeah, I'll say with Zach, as a dog would have been a no-go. A cat would have been, well, the cat would have been murdered and I'd have been hated. Oh, doesn't snuggle, she's just there. Close enough to be with you, but not actually snuggled up. Zach would be curled up right against you. He'd be either right beside your feet, stretched out down beside your leg, or curled around your head on the pillow. That's the way he liked to snuggle. And if it was cold, he would meow until you lift the blanket or the duvet up so he could get underneath. And then give me the dirty look when I farted in bed. Yeah, as I say, yeah. Another cat, a female cat, he might have been okay with. Male cat, certainly not. A dog, no, that wouldn't have worked. Don't know about small rodents. I think, rats, mice, anything like that, he would have probably just seen as food. Even if I did like introduce it as a friend, and he got used to it being around. But then, because he would leave like mouse heads lined up on the patio for me. But then I've seen him put a baby blackbird back in the nest when it fell out. Yeah. What do you do? We're talking about the cat that used to sit by the water change bucket and meow at me if I sucked up a baby platty with the gravel vac, and wouldn't shut up until I put the baby platty back in the tank, and then he was happy again. Yeah. He used to literally go around every tank. Thankfully, I had less tanks at the time. But he knew exactly what lived in which tank and how many fish there were. And if there was something wrong, he would tell me there was something wrong. If there was someone missing, he would notice it and want to know why. Yeah, he'd sit there and watch the fish in the pond, quite happy. Just sit there and watch them. They'd come up right in front of him, and he'd just sit and look at them. Yeah. I mean, if a frog came up anywhere near him, he'd run. But yeah, he got screamed at by a frog once, and that was enough for him. He stayed well away from him after that. To the point where I've had the back door open. This time of year, if I'm home, the back door's open, just to let some air through, de-stinkify the place a bit. So yeah, he'd come and go as he pleased. And more than once, he's come in, been in. I might not have even known he's been in. And then I've heard him meowing while I've been upstairs in the cave or something. Hello, buddy. Give him a fuss. And he'd go meow at me and wander off. And it took a few times for me to learn the meow, but the meow was human. There's a frog in the way. I need to go out. There'd be a frog sat on the back doorstep, and he wouldn't be able to go out the back door because the frog was in the way. So I'd have to move the frog first. The kitten's out of cat jail. 25th of the last vax, spayed and neutered. And after that, healed a couple of days ago in the cat room. Oh, so 25th. So probably by the 30th, they'll be ready for adoption. Yay! Oh, hello, Spotty. No, they're your babies, mate. Yeah, remember them eggs you were fanning for like 4.5 days? Yeah, that's what they turned into. Yeah. Nom 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 nom. He's a character, is Spotty. He's not quite as nuts as Bertie is. I mean, look at this. Look at the state of this for a bristle nose, right? Oh, probably off. I didn't have the computer actually sat on the camera lead. Let's go around that way. I mean, look at the state of that. Who says bristle noses don't eat blackbeard algae? She's got it all caught up in her teeth. She's been eating it. And she's big and full of eggs again. So yes, probably this week we'll have some more. Yeah. Has anyone else got a Bristlenose pleco that eats blackbeard algae, or is it just me? Eats blackbeard algae and sleeps on her back. Literally, flat on her back. These days, I'm more worried if she sleeps right way up. Okay, and have a good week. Stay safe. I know what I'm doing tomorrow. Water changes. The mum Rosemary and the kitten Sage. Oh, both Abyssinians. Oh, gorgeous, gorgeous kitties. Yeah. Go for it, Bob. You know you want to. Okay, for clean PE with standard thinners. Yes, it is. Absolutely fine. Yeah. Abyssinians or bristlenoses? Did use metal prep fork over it. Yeah. I just prime it with the standard, well, with the UMP primer. Cats. Yeah, I must just have a weird bristlenose then, Bob, that does like to eat BBA. I mean, there's the proof. She's got it hanging out of her mouth. You know. Well, Fat Loach has taken the place now. Yeah, you all right down there, Fat Loach? Hmm? Right. No, you're not Fat Loach. You're just... No, you're Loachy. Where's Fat Loach? I'm saying then the other yeah, just prime it with normal primer when you're doing the rest of the model, and then paint it as you would normally. That's all I do. I don't treat it any differently. Yeah, I'll say. With the bristlenose eating the blackbeard algae and the molly's going to town on the hair algae, pretty soon there's going to be no algae left in that tank. And there's a bit of green spot on the glass, but they're right snails and the bristlenoses gets at that. Yeah, just treat it like you would plastic, Aaron. That's all I do. Yeah, have a good night, you, and enjoy the rest of your week as well. Hopefully the kids are a bit quieter next week. And we've got another couple of shrimp explosions going on as well. We've had another few sets of shrimplets in the Skittles tank, so we're getting up to the hundreds and hundreds again. 3 cats and 3 dogs. Oh. So yeah, and the blue dreams, blue topaz, whichever you want to call them. Yeah, there's a lot more babies in there now as well. Two of the big mama shrimp have dropped, and one of the small ones have. Where the heck did Andy come from? Andy Cat? You haven't been lusting after Scottish tennis players, have you, Marek? I don't know. I don't know where you got Andy from. Probably least said the better there. Right, only 2 that came out. Yeah, that is a weird Yeah, because the Y is nowhere near the 2. The A is nowhere near the O. N is nowhere near the D. It got the Y right, I suppose. Sometimes, typing on a phone or a tablet, if I'm not actually looking at what I'm typing, which shot happens exactly. I say, I'm not saying I'm a speed typist or a touch typist, but I know where the buttons are on a keyboard. So I'll be typing away, not necessarily paying much attention. And then I hit send or post or whatever. And oh my God. But instead of spaces, I've got B's, and instead of O's, I've got I's and all sorts. Funky Monkey, how you doing, my buddy? Biggs just took a shot at you. I'm up next. Oh, dear. Well, yeah, but no, it's low-hanging fruit, Funk. It's easy. Especially with that ugly melon on the top of your shoulders. I know I can't really take Mickey out of people's hair, but at least I do have some. You know I love you, Funk. And yeah, I'm actually, if you're not seeing Funk's video from yesterday, I think it was, the 7 things he hates that YouTubers say. The one of them is, this fish needs pristine water parameters. No, because don't all fish. All fish do better in clean water. I'm taking the challenge to try and do a video of fish that like dirty water. Fish that do well in poor water conditions. So, if anyone knows any, let me know. And if I get a bunch of hate for it, Funk, I'm sending them your way. Because it's your fault, right? It's going to happen, Funk. I'm going to have to do a bit of thinking, and I've got a couple of ideas, though. Is that there are certain places I know where there are a lot of fish and the water is nasty. Yeah. It's always your fault. Exactly. And I'm sure Lady Funk lets you know it all the time. And Baby Funk. But yeah, there'll be something. I might have to, at the start of the video, go, this is a joke. Don't take this seriously. Because some people won't see the joke. But yeah, I know of some species that do well in manky, nasty water. So that's going to upset so many people. Fish that do well in manky, horrible water. Admittedly, they're probably not going to be fish you'd want in a fish tank. Because you're not going to want the water in a fish tank, are you, really? Let's be honest. I think pretty much anything that survived in the River Thames or the North Sea over the last 50 years is probably doing quite well. Biggs just did a video making fun of you in that video. Let me guess, did he keep showing? Did he show a bunch of fish that he's rescued and talk about how he researched each and every one of them and that they all need pristine water parameters? Oh, damn, that was so funny watching that video. I'm probably guilty of a couple. I know I've probably said do your research a couple of times, but that's normally only when I haven't. Now, if I've not done any research and something's gone wrong, it's like, yeah, do your research. I didn't. And we send you the link. That's literally the most recent video on Aquafunk's channel. Hang on. Here's where he misbehaves like a. Actually, no, I do actually trust Funk. If the pooter will do what I ask it to, anyway. Hang on. No. Come on. Right. Now that's something I bet no one ever thought they'd see. Funk as a moderator. If you want to pop a link to the video in the chat, Funk, go for it. And everyone can watch it and have a good laugh. I don't believe I just made Funk a moderator. Shows the class on this channel. Oh no. Oh geez. Yeah, that's not good, Marek. You stay safe, girl. As I said, stay away from the windows. I say now, to our American friends, 2 people being shot is probably a daily occurrence, especially in Chicago. In the tube station. Ooh. Glad you went last week and not today. Yeah. I say for the UK or Norway, shootings aren't exactly a very common occurrence. All downhill. Yeah. Hey, I trust you not to do anything too dumb, Funk, because you know I won't hesitate to boot your ass out of here otherwise. Just no Rick rolling, okay? The porn links, I ain't got a problem with. I'll probably save them. Yeah, 7 things that burn my biscuits. There we go. Thank you, Funky Funk. And look at that. I'm running over time. So, if you all want to go and watch Funk's video, see what you think about it, give him a subscribe. Tell him Sharpe sent you. And get some insult as well. Hashtag melon would probably go down quite well as a compliment. Yeah, hashtag melon in the comments. Yeah, so I've overrun my time. I think there is actually someone who goes on at 8, so I'm going to be good. I'm not going to be that person that runs over other people's streams. So thank you everyone for turning up. Thank you for whoever sent the super chats. I can't remember now. Apologies. Brain fade. It was nearly 2 hours ago. Have fun. Peace out. Rock on. Bye bye. Sunday Sharpe do 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 do. Sunday Sharpe do 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 do. Sunday Sharpe do 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 do.